Today I'm going to talk about a very common topic that you have probably experienced quite often, or at least one time, if you go out, if you really go out to meet girls. Imagine or remember the situation: you went to the nightclub, you met a girl, she was super into you, then you go home with her, she comes home, but then suddenly she's like, oh, I need to go, and she leaves. Or like you went on a date, it seems to go very well, then you come home and suddenly she's like, oh, I need to go, and she leaves. And you're thinking like, what happened? I was doing everything right. What's wrong with her? But thing is, actually to understand what's happening here, like, because I'm seeing this question like all the time, like everywhere. And many guys don't understand what happens here. You need to understand female to male and male to female attraction. So how the male to female attraction works. You look at her, you see she's attractive, then you're like, oh, I would like to have something more with this woman. And all other things come after it. Like her hobbies and this kind of stuff, yeah, cool, but you don't really care about it. Like you would like to have more in the story, even just by her looks. But for women, she also looks not only at the way you look like, your life, your interests, the way you behave, but the behavior. Behavior is the most common thing that's going to determine what's going to happen next. So the women, they're more attracted. They're more attracted to your behavior. And probably like when you met her, she was super into you. In the nightclub, she was like, oh, this guy's so cool. You are exactly what she wants. Your behavior was on point. She was looking, yeah, that's what I want. But then, probably when you came home, probably your behavior changed a bit. Especially if you are not doing this that often. Then you're thinking like, oh, what is she comfortable with? Is it okay to do it? Is it not okay to do it? It's like, oh, and then probably you got a bit kind of nervous or hesitant. And because even you went a bit nervous or hesitant, even for a bit, she will sense it. And she'll like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, she will sense it. And then she'll like look closer to you. And if you start to do some weird stuff, or especially when you're inexperienced, most likely you're doing some weird stuff. You're doing some weird stuff that you don't know about. And that's what she saw. And that's why she's like, oh, I need to go. Like no. And she leaves. Most likely you're doing something what you're not aware of. That's why it's super important to analyze what exactly you're doing wrong, or to have a coach that's going to tell you what you're doing wrong by you telling the full story of what happened. So analyze what exactly happened. It's way easier to analyze together with somebody who is more experienced than you, to tell you what you did wrong. And yeah, that's the thing that I want to talk to you today with you about. Good luck.